Hey everybody, welcome to RBN, the Racinboys Broadcasting Network. We're live at the Performance Racing Industry Show here in Indianapolis, Indiana. We're at the ASCS booth. Bryan Hulbert, the voice of the Lucas Oil ASCS National Tour, and the Publicist join us, as well as our race director, Matt Ward, here at the ASCS booth. Let's start off talking to Bryan Hulbert. And Bryan, let's talk about the season coming up in 2019. The schedule was just released, 51 dates that we could have in 2019. That's up quite a bit from last year.
Yeah, it is. Looking at 51 dates, possibly trying to get it a little closer to 55, depending on availability and tracks that, are open to having shows. And, as always, adding new tracks, going back to tracks that maybe haven't had the national tour the last couple of years, and, forming partnerships with new companies, new businesses, and even through Racinboys, with Spire Sports and Entertainment coming in and actually bringing some shows into the ASCS fold. So it's neat to see what's happening this year, not only from the tourist standpoint, but even on the backside with the supporters and sponsors of the series and everything that's going on. It's setting up to be a banner year.
I think it's a reflection of the kind of show that ASCS puts on. The word's out there. The cost for a promoter, it's reasonable for people that want to bring in the ASCS National Tour, and the product on the track is superb. And I think that's why we're seeing the numbers go up each year with the National Tour.
Definitely. I mean, our car counts still average over 30 cars a night on the National Tour. And you look at ASCS overall, between the National Tour and all of our regional tours, the average car count is right at 30. Just for everything. So, you look at what's there. If anybody wants to say that there's no growth or it's going downhill, I don't know where they're looking at. And you talk about the product on track. I mean, we had so many winners this year. It was such a tight championship battle all the way down to the final weekend. And Sam picking up his 3rd championship, and and hearing that he's going to come back to try to go for his 4th championship now, and and then he's sprinkling in some other 410 dates and looking at the schedules and realizing I can do this and it makes sense for me financially to do this. And that's where a lot of these teams are coming from, and that's where you see a lot of these names like Sam and Seth, and Wayne and Blake now, even the banner year he had, stepping it up and coming back out.
Yeah. Well, let's talk to Matt. And Matt, when it comes to competition out on the racetrack, we're mentioning Sam coming back again. The dollars and what the ASCS National Tour does with the tow money and the amount of dates that we have, it's a pretty lucrative deal for the teams as well.
Yeah, I mean, just based on the tow money with the amount of shows that we got, I mean, you're looking at $30,000 to $35,000 just in tow money just coming through the gate, not including what you make at the racetrack. So I mean, the tow money package, it helps everybody get up and down the road, and it's an added bonus.
Yeah. Let's talk about coming up. Anything different in the rules, or anything that we need to know that there might be of change with the National Tour in 2019?
On our draw process, on the redraw, 1st through 4 we'll draw 1 through 4 pills, and 5 through 8 we'll draw 5 through 8 instead of 1 through 8 drawing 1 through 8. So it'll kind of protect the top 4 from having to start a little deeper in the pack. We did the safety bar improvements on there. So hopefully, that's about all we're doing, and it's not too much, but it's going to help it out a lot.
Talk about those safety bars. I think as our industry, when it comes to sprint car racing, everybody's on board with that. We understand the safety after losing 2 great drivers last year. Just talk about the safety issues in sprint car racing and how it seems like the sprint car community is pulled together with this council as well.
Yeah, I mean the council. I mean, it's just a group of people with the same direction, just trying to look forward and make improvements and just keep the growth of sprint car growing. I mean, it's dirt track racing right now, I think, is at an all-time high. I mean, there's so many fans out there, so we just need to keep it going in the same direction and not plateau, and just keep it growing. And I mean, I think with the council looking forward, going to make a lot of improvements. And I don't think it's going to be a lot of costly changes, nothing like that, but it's just going to improve the sport tremendously, I believe.
Let's talk a little bit about the Chili Bowl before we let you guys go. It's right around the corner in the Tulsa Shootout. You can watch it all live on racinboys.com right up till when MAV TV goes live on Saturday night. Don't forget, Racinboys will continue with audio on Saturday night when MAV goes live. So for those people that might not have MAV TV or have a membership with LucasOilRacingTV.com. You can listen to it on Racing Boys. But, Brian, it's right around the corner. Car count is going to be up there like it always is.
Oh, yeah, we've already got over 150 entries in, and we're not even close to deadlines or anything like that. And, Tulsa Shootout, we're coming close to 800 already. So, you got two great events. They're both covered by RacingBoys.com, and it seems like every year, and we always say, can't get any bigger. Right. Every year somehow we manage to pack even more in there, and of course, with Racing Boys and Mav TV doing live Saturday night, and if you get a chance just to, even the Tulsa Shootout, if you get a chance just to attend that on Saturday night, it's kind of like it's the tune-up. It's, and you see guys that come from the Chili Bowl and they race the Shootout and they're trying to get those extra laps. We saw Christopher Bell do it last year. Brady Bacon's in on that this year. Blake Hahn's in on that this year. You look, Ayrton Jennington, a few of those. I mean, they're
the future stars of open wheel racing as well.
They really are. And you look at some of the winners of the past from the Tulsa Shootout. Where do you think Jamie McMurray got some of his first wins? Kevin Swindell got some of his first wins. Adam Petty got some of his wins at the Shootout. So, I mean, it's amazing to see the names and those drivers grow and progress and make it to the Chili Bowl, make it to ASCS. And going back to a point that Matt made about, dirt track racing's at an all-time high right now. We were just doing a little bit of math last night, just averages. There's 700 dirt tracks in the United States, roughly. If each track, let's just say, averaged 1,000 fans a night, which is not outside the realm of possibility between the grandstands and the pits, you're looking at almost 17.5 million fans.
That's crazy.
A week on a 25-week season. I mean, it's absolutely incredible. Yeah. The amount of fans that we have going to see dirt track races. And like I said, we're just operating off of averages at this point. And we see that on ASCS where we're getting, anywhere from 2,000, 2,500, 3,000 people. We have events that draw almost 10,000 people in. You look at Texas Motor Speedway, Knoxville, Dirt Cup. We go up to play with the Grizzly Bears in Montana. The fan base is just out there. It's a massive, and it's great to see them come out and support this series.
Looking forward to getting back to Billings for 2 days this year.
That's going to be great. Shane Lee, Big Jerry Bray, they have done so much to that track. You wouldn't even recognize it. If you saw it before, to see it now, and Harvey Ostermiller and everything he did out there when he owned that track, he really kept sprint car racing alive and dirt track racing alive in that area. And it went through some trials, it went through some tribulations, but now having Shane and Jerry in there with their experience in motorsports for so many decades, what they've done out there is tremendous. And I know Gallatin, such a beautiful track. To have Billings up at that caliber right now, those are the two premier dirt tracks in that area.
And you mentioned a little bit earlier about our friends over at Spire Sports and Entertainment, Jeff Dickerson, TJ Pusher, and all their staff over there with Joey and Bob, and how hard they've been working to bring dates with the Lucas Oil ASCS National Tour. And I'm excited about getting back to a couple really high bank, short tracks that we raced at for many years, US 36 and Eagle Raceway, and I know a lot of people are excited about Eagle Raceway.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, this guy right here. Put me in that camp. You want to talk about exciting. Eagle Raceway is just absolutely fantastic to go to. And it's great as, they've already got events on there, and they're looking at more events to add to the National Tour lineup. A couple of those TBAs, that's Spire. So as soon as we get the details worked out on those, we'll be glad to announce those. In fact, one of those events, one of your events, actually, Lakeside. We announced that today. We're going to go ahead and go back to Lakeside for 2019. Also, I-30 Speedway. A lot of people noticed, Tracy's Playground wasn't on the original lineup that we put out. Well, Tracy noticed that she was getting a lot of flack about it. So we're going back there in the month of May. And, of course, Terry Maddox kind of working his magic there as well with the Mid-South region and getting all that put together. So that's one that we go to. That's kind of like when we go to Pennsylvania, those boys are going to be stout. Yep. You go down to I-30, you're not just going to take that money away from people like Tim Crawley and Derek Hagar.
Yeah. Let's talk about that PA run we had last year. You don't know what you're going to get when you go out there, right? I mean, it's 410 country. But the people in Pennsylvania treated all the people with ASCS with the most respect. And I know, speaking as far as Racing Boys, how they reached out to us with open arms and says, hey, glad you're here. It's about time that you're here. All the fans that were out there said, man, we've been wanting you to come out here for years. That PA run was just a great run, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a blast. It was great to go to those racetracks out there in Pennsylvania. I've never been out there. I've always wanted to go and check that off the bucket list. The fans were amazing. They were grateful we were out there. The track staffs at both Selinsgrove and Williamsgrove were amazing, awesome to work with, great people. So, I mean, if you're a fan up there in Pennsylvania, I encourage you to call up the other racetracks, tell them step up their game and bring us over there. Call Williamsgrove and Selinsgrove. They'll approve it. I mean, we had a great car count, a lot of fans, great racing, so why not?
Yeah. And I want to talk to you quickly about the Chili Bowl, because you put a lot of blood, sweat, and tear into putting up that racetrack. Where are we standing? You've already started. I guess you moved in on the 9th, started doing a little bit of work at the Expo Center.
We actually will get the building on the 9th, which is this coming Sunday. I'm gonna leave tomorrow early from here, drive back. We get the building at 8 a.m. and we're gonna start hauling some barriers, set the radius for the racetrack. Probably set the bottom wall, hang the banners on the east wall, while the fairgrounds are putting the bleachers in on the lower level. So there'll be action starting Sunday morning out there.
But there is the grandstands on the front straightaway are already in there. That's what I was talking about, right?
Well, they were. They were in there for the BMX races during Thanksgiving. There's a farm show in there tonight, so they had to take those and put them up against the east wall. So they're still in the building. They just got to put them back into the right location. Yeah. Yep.
What's the challenges going to be this year with the Chili Bowl expanding an extra day? It's going to be a little more taxing on everybody: crew, staff, drivers, teams, everybody.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, we practice on Monday, so it'll go probably about 4 hours later on Monday than normally on practice night. So it won't be that big of a difference. The main thing for all the track staff and personnel is we got to be out in 24 hours after the event, so it's going to affect us a lot more than anybody else.
What was that, Brian?
From the dirtiest show of the year to the cleanest show of the year.
Right.
When they start moving multi-million-dollar yachts in the building.
Right. Well, you're going to see an interview that we've done with Harley White and Johnny Herrera here in a little bit, and big news coming out that Johnny Herrera is going to now become the crew chief for Harley White and her team. He's getting out of the seat. He's going to be running part-time, but Johnny Herrera, just a mainstay on the ASCS National Tour, but starting to work into a role after the seat.
You know, and that's something Johnny's even talked about for the last couple of years is, you know, how can he start giving back to the sport? You know, he's accomplished so much in this sport, from Knoxville championships to Kings Royal wins, World of Outlaw wins. I mean, his resume speaks for itself. You know, and for him to be able to take somebody like Harley, who has the talent, who has the drive, has the determination, and wants to be in this sport. She's not here just to be eye candy. She's not here just to say, oh, yeah, I raced. She wants to be competitive. And her and Johnny are a great mix, because now Johnny, with his prowess and determination and his ability to communicate and watch the car and know what it's doing, that's going to be a very, very powerful combination.
I think it's going to be very successful. I'm looking forward to seeing it. Well, folks, we're looking forward to 2019. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I just want to give a shout-out real quick to Terry Maddox. He's been working on the schedule for 2019, and let me tell you, folks, it's a thankless job, because people sometimes kind of chew on Terry about certain things and bend his ears. I'm one of them. And just want to say that Terry needs to be thanked for all his hard work that he does behind the scenes, because it's a thankless job sometimes, isn't it?
That is for sure. As I used to do the scheduling, and the last couple of years going through the whole adoption process, Terry and Bryan stepped up majorly and helped me and Ashley, and he's been doing it ever since. And he does a hell of a better job than I ever did, and I praise him for everything. And you know, the whole ASCS staff, you know, somebody goes down, they all, you know, pick it up, and I want to express my gratitude to all of them. And I want to thank Racinboys and Jeff and Kirk for everything you guys do. You guys support ASCS, Shootout, Chili Bowl more than anybody out there, and we greatly appreciate it. And so if you're listening here, join up, Racinboys membership. Do the year, you'll get great videos, and I'm pretty sure I saw a press release. Oh, Jeff over here is throwing some archives up there, right?
That's right. We've got some vintage video that we've put up in the premium section. You know, Jeff's a little long in the tooth and been around a long time, so got all kinds of action from Eldora, Bakersfield, I-70 Speedway, just tracks from all around the Midwest through his years of filming. And that's something that we've added to Racinboys. Also want to remind everybody that when we're out on the tour this year, we're also going to have a T-shirt trailer out there. We're bringing Miss Deidre out with us out on the road. So we'll have merchandise for several different drivers, as well as ASCS and new Racinboys garb as well. So make sure that you come by. We're going to be doing pre-race shows at the trailer, having drivers come up and visit with us before the races start. So come by, say hello. As Matt mentioned, if you could, join our premium membership. It costs $6.50 a month or $50 a year to join ASCS and Racinboys.
A week at Starbucks, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's one trip to Starbucks, I think, if you're Brandon Hahn. That's for sure. So anyway, we want to thank everybody for tuning in here to RBN, and thanks again for all the support over the years.